Let's go through the comprehension questions together. I'll help you understand each one step by step. Question 1. In line 4, the phrase "a perpetual spark of curiosity" refers to Kofi's A. Unwavering determination, B. Never-ending energy, C. Constant inquisitiveness, D. Unceasing chatter, E. Bright eyes. So, let's think about what a perpetual spark of curiosity means. Perpetual means never-ending, and spark of curiosity means always being curious. Option A talks about determination, which means being very focused on a goal. That's not quite the same as being curious. Option B mentions never-ending energy. That's about being energetic, maybe running around a lot, but not necessarily about curiosity. Option C is constant inquisitiveness. Inquisitiveness is a big word that means curiosity, or wanting to learn new things. Constant means all the time. Option D says unceasing chatter, which means talking a lot without stopping. That's different from being curious. Option E mentions bright eyes, which is about how his eyes look, not about his curiosity. So, the best answer is C, constant inquisitiveness. Question 2. Which of the following is a synonym for varicolored in line 5? A. Multicolored, B. Monochrome, C. Unicolor, D. Bicolor, E. Polychromatic. A synonym is a word that means the same thing. Varicolored means having many different colors. Option A. Multicolored means many colors. Option B. Monochrome means one color. Option C. Unicolor also means one color. Option D. Bicolor means two colors. Option E. Polychromatic is a fancy word that also means many colors. So, both options A and E mean many colors. But since multicolored is a more common word and matches varicolored well, the best answer is A, multicolored. Question 3. What is the primary purpose of the phrase, "a symbol of the juxtaposition of the splendor of its landscapes with the poignancy of its inhabitants' struggles," in lines 6 to 7? A. To emphasize the contrast between Africa's beauty and its inhabitants' challenges. B. To describe Kofi's personal struggles. C. To highlight the author's admiration for Africa, the continent. D. To connect the next paragraph. E. To demonstrate Kofi's differences from the narrator. Let's break this down. The phrase is talking about a contrast or a big difference between two things: the beauty of Africa's landscapes and the struggles of the people who live there. Option A says it's emphasizing the contrast between Africa's beauty and its inhabitants' challenges. That matches what the phrase is saying. Option B talks about Kofi's personal struggles, but the phrase is about Africa in general, not just Kofi. Option C mentions the author's admiration for Africa, but the phrase focuses on the contrast, not just admiration. Option D says it's to connect the next paragraph, but the purpose is more about the contrast. Option E talks about Kofi's differences from the narrator, which isn't the main point here. So the best answer is A, to emphasize the contrast between Africa's beauty and its inhabitants' challenges. Question 4. What does the phrase "aloof in the center" in line 10 most likely mean in the context of the passage? A. Isolated in the middle. B. Disinterested in the middle. C. Hidden in the center. D. Friendly in the center. E. Crowded in the middle. Aloof usually means being distant or not friendly. In this context, the classroom is described as sitting aloof in the center, so it's in the middle but kind of separate or standing alone. Option A, isolated in the middle, means it's in the middle but kind of alone. That fits. Option B, disinterested in the middle, doesn't make sense because a building can't be disinterested. Option C, hidden in the center, suggests it's hard to see, but the passage doesn't say that. Option D, friendly in the center, is the opposite of aloof. Option E, crowded in the middle, doesn't match aloof, which means distant. So, the best answer is A, isolated in the middle. Question 5. In line 11, what language device is used in the phrase "awaiting my arrival"? A. Hyperbole. B. Metaphor. C. Simile. D. Sibilance. E. Alliteration. Let's look at the phrase "awaiting my arrival." Option A. Hyperbole means exaggeration. There's no exaggeration here. Option B. Metaphor is when you say something is something else, like time is a thief. That's not happening here. Option C, simile, is when you compare two things using like or like as brave as a lion. That's not here. Option D, sibilance, is the repetition of S sounds, like softly the snake slithered. That's not in awaiting my arrival. Option E, alliteration, is when words close together start with the same sound or letter, like Peter Piper picked. In awaiting my arrival, both words start with A, so the language device used is E, alliteration. None could ignore his yearning for a better future. What does yearning mean in this context? A, joy. B, sadness. C, desire. D, frustration. E, patience. Yearning means a strong desire or wanting something very much. Option A, joy, means happiness. Option B, sadness, means feeling sad. Option C, desire, means wanting something. Option D, frustration, means feeling annoyed because you can't do something. Option E, patience, means being able to wait calmly. So, yearning means C, desire. Question 7. In lines 18 to 20, what language device is used in "My heart swelled with a sense of fulfillment, a potent elixir, as I witnessed them grapple with the intricacies of the English language, a key to the world beyond the confines of Kwame"? A, personification. B, simile. C, metaphor. D, alliteration. E, contrast. Let's look at the phrase. The narrator says, "My heart swelled with a sense of fulfillment, a potent elixir." A potent elixir is a strong potion or drink, often magical. Here, the sense of fulfillment is being compared to a potent elixir. Option A, personification, is giving human qualities to non-human things. That's not happening here. Option B, simile, uses like or as to compare things. There's no like or as here. Option C, metaphor, is saying something is something else, which is happening here. Fulfillment is called a potent elixir. Option D, alliteration, is repeating the same starting sounds, which isn't the focus here. Option E, contrast, is showing differences, which isn't the main device here. So the language device used is C, metaphor. Question 8. In line 32, what does the author mean when they describe Kofi's hope as unshaken against the harsh wind of reality? A, Kofi was always optimistic, regardless of circumstances. B, Kofi's hope was easily swayed by challenges. C, Kofi's hope remained strong despite facing difficulties. D, Kofi's hope was only temporary. E, Kofi's hope was unrealistic. Unshaken against the harsh wind of reality means that even though there are tough challenges, the harsh wind of reality, Kofi's hope stays strong, unshaken. Option A says Kofi was always optimistic, which matches. Option B says his hope was easily swayed, but unshaken means it wasn't swayed. Option C says his hope remained strong despite difficulties, which fits perfectly. Option D says his hope was only temporary, but unshaken suggests it's lasting. Option E says his hope was unrealistic, but the passage doesn't say that. Between options A and C, while both are close, option C directly matches the idea of staying strong despite difficulties. So, the best answer is C. Kofi's hope remained strong despite facing difficulties. Which word best describes the tone of the passage? A, depressing. B, jubilant. C, melancholic. D, optimistic. E, indifferent. The tone is how the passage feels overall. Option A, depressing, means very sad, but while there are challenges, the passage also shows hope. Option B, jubilant, means very happy, which doesn't fit completely. Option C, melancholic, means sad or gloomy. Option D, optimistic, means hopeful about the future. Option E, indifferent, means not caring. The passage talks about challenges, but focuses on hope and the desire for a better future. So the best word to describe the tone is D, optimistic. Question 10. From the passage, what is the purpose of the narrator's visit to Kwame? A. To explore the beauty of African landscapes. B. To study the challenges of teaching English. C. To teach English to African children. D. To escape the confines of Kwame. E. To find a brighter future for Kofi. In the passage, the narrator goes to the village and introduces themselves to the children, teaching them English. Option A talks about exploring landscapes, but the focus is on teaching. Option B mentions studying challenges, but the narrator is actively teaching. Option C says to teach English to African children, which matches. Option D talks about escaping Kwame, but the narrator is visiting, not escaping. Option E mentions finding a brighter future for Kofi, but while the narrator helps, their main purpose is to teach. So, the best answer is C, to teach English to African children. Question 11. From the implications of the passage, what might Kofi want to become in the future? Mark 2 answers. A. Teacher. B. Scientist. C. Doctor. D. Governor. E. Lawyer. In the passage it says, Kofi envisions a future where he could heal the ailments that often afflicted his community. Ailments means illnesses or health problems. So, Kofi wants to heal people, which suggests he wants to be a doctor. Also, since he's very eager to learn and helps his friends learn under the kerosene lamp, he might also want to be a teacher. So, the two best answers are A, teacher, and C, doctor. Question 12. In line 38, I found myself immersed in contemplation of the Herculean trials. These children, including Kofi, confronted daily. What does the term Herculean mean? Mark 2 answers. A. Impossible to not overcome. B. Related to a character in Greek mythology. C. Exceptionally strong or difficult. D. Insignificant or trivial. E. Swift and agile Herculean comes from Hercules, a hero in Greek mythology known for his incredible strength and for completing very difficult tasks. Option A says, impossible to not overcome, which is a bit confusing. Option B says, related to a character in Greek mythology, which is true. Option C says, exceptionally strong or difficult, which matches the idea of Herculean tasks. Option D says, insignificant or trivial, which is the opposite. Option E says, swift and agile, which isn't the main trait of Hercules. So, the two best answers are B, related to a character in Greek mythology, and C, exceptionally strong or difficult. What is 40% of 120? Let us break this down. To find 40% of 120, you multiply 120 by 40 and then divide by 100. First, multiply 120 by 40. That gives us 4,800. Now divide 4,800 by 100. 4,800 divided by 100 equals 48. So, the answer to question 13 is 48. Question 14. What is 80% of 800? Again, to find 80% of 800, we multiply 800 by 80 and then divide by 100. First, multiply 800 by 80. That gives us 64,000. Now, divide 64,000 by 100. 64,000 divided by 100 equals 640. So, the answer to question 14 is 640. Question 15. What is 70% of 230? To calculate 70% of 230, we do the same steps. Multiply 230 by 70, and then divide by 100. First, multiply 230 by 70. That gives us 16,100. Now divide 16,100 by 100. 16,100 divided by 100 equals 161. So, the answer to question 15 is 161. Question 16. What is 99% of 130? All right, this one might seem tricky, but let us stick to the same method. First, multiply 130 by 99. 130 multiplied by 99 gives us 12,870. Now divide 12,870 divided by 100 equals 128.7. Question 16 is 128.7. 100. To work out 28% of 900, we first need to find out what 1% of 900 is. 1% means dividing the number by 100. So, 900 divided by 100 is 9. Now, if 1% is 9, then 28% will be 28 times that. So 28 multiplied by 9 is 252. The answer is 252. Question 18. Tommy went to the shop where there was a 20% off sale. The shirt he wanted to buy was originally 20 pounds. How much money does he save in the sale? Alright, let us break it down. 20% means we are finding out what 1/5 of 20 pounds is. Why 1/5? Because 20% is the same as saying 20 out of 100, which simplifies to 1 out of 5. To find 1/5, we divide 20 pounds by 5. So, 20 pounds divided by 5 is 4 pounds. Tommy saves 4 pounds in the sale. Question 19. A bike costs 350 pounds, but is reduced by 35%. What does the bike cost after the reduction? This one looks tricky, but do not worry. We will break it down. First, we need to figure out what 35% of 350 pounds is. Just like before, we find 1% of 350 pounds by dividing by 100. So, 350 divided by 100 is 350 divided by 100 is 3.000, 3.5. Now, 35% means 35 times that 1%. So, 35 multiplied by 3.5 is 122 pounds and 50 pence. This is the amount reduced from the price. To find the final cost, we subtract 122 pounds 50 pence from 350 pounds. 350 pounds minus 122 pounds 50 pence is 227 pounds 50 pence. The bike now costs 227 pounds 50 pence. 227 pounds 50 pence. Question 20. In a school of 600 pupils, 64% walk to school regularly. How many pupils walk to school regularly? Let us figure this out together. First, we need to find 1% of 600. Just like before, we divide 600 by 100. That gives us 6. Now, to find 64%, we multiply 6 by 64. 6 times 64 is 384 students. 384 pupils walk to school regularly. A rare painting for 3,200 pounds. He eventually sells it for 3,800 pounds. Work out the percentage increase in value of the painting. Step 1. Find the increase in value. To do this, subtract the original price, 3,200 pounds, from the selling price, 3,800 pounds. So, 3,800 pounds minus 3,200 pounds equals 600 pounds. The increase in value is 600 pounds. Step 2. Find the percentage increase. We divide the increase, 600, by the original price, 3,200, and then multiply by 100. Let us calculate. $600 divided by $3,200 equals 0.1875. Now multiply 0.1875 by 100, which gives us 18.75%. So, the percentage increase is 18.75%. Question 22. Jane fills her empty car with 12 liters of petrol. After driving for the day, the car now has 7.5 liters of petrol in the tank. Calculate the percentage decrease of petrol in the car. Step 1. Find the amount of petrol used. We subtract the amount left, 7.5 liters, from the original amount, 12 liters. So, 12 liters minus 7.5 liters equals 4.5 liters. The petrol used is 4.5 liters. Step 2. Find the percentage decrease. We divide the amount used, 4.5 liters, by the original amount, 12 liters, and then multiply by 100. Let us calculate. 4.5 divided by 12 equals 0.375. Now multiply 0.375 by 100, which gives us 37.5%. So, the percentage decrease is 37.5%. Is most similar in meaning to particular. Option A. Special. Option B. Simple. Option C. Careful. Option D. Specific. Option E. Obvious. Let's think about what the word particular means. When we say something is particular, we mean it's specific or exact. For example, If I ask for a particular toy, I want that exact one, not just any toy. Now let's look at the options. Option A, special. Special means unique or important, but it doesn't exactly mean specific. Option B, simple. Simple means easy or not complicated, which is different from particular. Option C, careful. Careful means paying close attention, which isn't the same. Option D, specific. Specific means exact or particular. This matches. Option E, obvious. Obvious means clear or easy to see, which doesn't fit. So the word that is most similar to particular is specific. The answer to question 23 is option D, specific. Question 24. All of the words below are alike in some way. Vigilant, precise, meticulous, particular. Which of the following options could not be in the box? Option A, careful. Option B, thorough. Option C, detailed. Option D, perfectionistic. Option E, hasty. First, let's understand how the words are alike. Vigilant means watchful and alert. Precise means exact and accurate. Meticulous means paying great attention to detail. Particular can mean being very careful about details. All these words are about being careful and paying attention to details. Now, let's look at the options. Option A, careful, fits with the group because it means cautious. Option B, thorough, also fits. It means doing things completely and carefully. Option C, detailed, fits because it involves lots of details. Option D, perfectionistic, fits as it means wanting everything to be perfect. Option E, hasty, means doing things quickly without much care. So, hasty doesn't fit with the others because it's the opposite of being careful. The answer to question 24 is option E, hasty. Question 25. In a foreign language, Mais de Kump Goth means Merry Christmas Dad. Goth Wim Kump Freck means Dad is merry today. Kump Wim Kump Freck means Mum is merry today. Which word means Christmas? Option A, MISD. Option B, GOTH. Option C, KUMP. Option D, WUIM. Option E, FREK. Let's solve this step by step. Find common words and meanings. Goth appears in the first two sentences and translates to Dad. Comp appears only in the third sentence and translates to Mum. Identify common phrases. Wim Kump Freck appears in the last two sentences and translates to is merry today. Match the words Wim Heis is Kump, Merry Freck. Today, find the word for Christmas. In the first sentence, we have Mies die Kump Goth Orisjais Merry Christmas Dad. We know Goth always Dad and Kump always Merry. That leaves Mies as Christmas. The answer to question 25 is option A, MISD. That together prove Sandy is a country music singer. Here are the statements. Sandy sings in a band. Sandy likes country music the best. Difficult music such as country and classical require a strongly trained voice. Sandy's band plays country songs. Sandy has attended singing lessons for many years. And the options are option A, statements 1 and 3. Option B, statements 2 and 5. Option C, statements 3 and 5. Option D, statements 1 and 4. Option E, statements 3 and 4. Let's figure this out step by step. First, we need to find two statements that, when combined, prove that Sandy is a country music singer. Let's look at the statements. Statement 1, Sandy sings in a band. Statement 2, Sandy likes country music the best. Statement 3, difficult music such as country and classical require a strongly trained voice. Statement 4, Sandy's band plays country songs. Statement 5, Sandy has attended singing lessons for many years. Now, let's see which statements together prove that Sandy is a country music singer. Option A, statements 1 and 3. Statement 1 says Sandy sings in a band. Statement 3 talks about difficult music requiring a trained voice, but this doesn't directly tell us that Sandy sings country music. Option B, statements 2 and 5. Statement 2 says Sandy likes country music the best. Statement 5 says Sandy has taken singing lessons, but just because she likes country music and takes lessons doesn't mean she sings country music. Option C. Statements 3 and 5. Statement 3 is about difficult music needing a trained voice. Statement 5 says Sandy has attended singing lessons. Again, this doesn't prove she sings country music. Option D. Statements 1 and 4. Statement 1 says Sandy sings in a band. Statement 4 says Sandy's band plays country songs. So if Sandy sings in a band and the band plays country songs, then Sandy sings country music. Option E. Statements 3 and 4. Statement 3 is about difficult music requiring a trained voice. Statement 4 says Sandy's band plays country songs, but we don't know if Sandy sings in that band from these statements alone. So, the two statements that together prove Sandy is a country music singer are statements 1 and 4. The answer to question 26 is option D, statements 1 and 4. Question complete. The following sentence. Aircraft is to transport as newspaper is to. The options are option A, politics. Option B, weather option. C, media option. D, fly option. E, paper. Let's think about the relationship between aircraft and transport. An aircraft is a means of transport. That is, an aircraft is used for transport. So the pattern is, aircraft is a type of transport. Now we need to find a word that has the same relationship to newspaper. So newspaper is a type of what? Option A, politics. Newspapers can report on politics, but politics isn't a category that newspapers belong to. Option B, weather. Again, newspapers report the weather, but weather isn't a category for newspapers. Option C, media. Yes, newspapers are a type of media. Option D, fly. Doesn't fit. Option E, paper. While newspapers are made of paper, the relationship isn't the same as aircraft to transport. So the best answer is media because a newspaper is a type of media, just like an aircraft is a type of transport. The answer to question 27 is option C, media. Question 28. Jordan's cat is bigger than Amy's cat, but is smaller than Jenna's cat. Fiona's cat is the same size as Wendy's cat, which is bigger than Amy's cat, but smaller than Jordan's. If bigger cats are faster, but smaller cats are more obedient, which of the following lists the fastest and most obedient cat? The options are option A, Fiona and Jenna. Option B, Amy and Jordan. Option C, Wendy and Jenna. Option D, Jenna and Amy. Option E, none. Let's sort out the sizes of the cats first. First, let's list the cats by size. Jenna's cat, biggest Jordan's cat, smaller than Jenna's but bigger than the others. Fiona's cat and Wendy's cat, same size, both smaller than Jordan's cat but bigger than Amy's cat. Amy's cat, smallest. So, from biggest to smallest, Jenna's cat, Jordan's cat, Fiona's cat, Wendy's cat, Amy's cat. Now remember, bigger cats are faster, smaller cats are more obedient. So the fastest cat is the biggest cat, which is Jenna's cat. The most obedient cat is the smallest cat, which is Amy's cat. Now let's look at the options to see which list includes both the fastest and the most obedient cat. Option A, Fiona and Jenna, includes Jenna, fastest, and Fiona, not the smallest. So Fiona isn't the most obedient. Option B, Amy and Jordan, includes Amy, most obedient, and Jordan, not the fastest. Option C, Wendy and Jenna, includes Jenna, fastest, and Wendy, not the most obedient. Option D, Jenna and Amy, includes Jenna, fastest, and Amy, most obedient. This seems to fit. Option E, none, but we have a matching option in D. The answer to question 28 is option D, Jenna and Amy. Ancient Egypt, pyramid workers would say, Gengro Yatju, when wishing other pyramid workers good building. Upon the pyramid workers' return, the children would ask, Ern Yatju Gengro, which meant, was building good? The pyramid workers would either reply, Ern Gengro, was good building, or Ern Gengro Yatju. If Gengro symbolizes the opposite of Gengro, what does Ern Gengro Yatju mean? The options are, option A, was bad building. Option B, was hard building. Option C, was fun. Building option D, was cold building. Option E was happy building. Let's figure this out step by step. Identify the words and their meanings. Gengro yachu was good building. Earn yachu gengro was building good. Earn gengro post was good building. Notice that. Earn seems to mean was. Gengro means good. Yachu means building. Given that gengro is the opposite of gengro, and gengro means good, then gengro must mean bad. So, earn gengro yachu would translate to earn call was, gengro call bad yachu, how building. Putting it together was bad building. The answer to question 29 is option A, was bad building. Question 30. Which of the following words has a similar meaning to outgoing? Here are the options. Option A, extroverted. Option B, contained. Option C, outside. Option D, exit. Option E, introverted. Let's think about what the word outgoing means. When we describe someone as outgoing, we mean they are friendly, sociable, and enjoy spending time with other people. Now let's look at each option. Option A, extroverted. An extroverted person is sociable and enjoys being around others. This matches the meaning of outgoing. Option B, contained. This means being controlled or restrained. It doesn't relate to being sociable. Option C, outside. This refers to being outdoors or not inside. It doesn't describe a person's personality. Option D, exit. An exit is a way out of a place. It doesn't describe someone who is friendly or sociable. Option E, introverted. An introverted person is usually quiet and reserved, the opposite of outgoing. So, the word that has a similar meaning to outgoing is extroverted. The answer to question 30 is option A, extroverted. Question 31. 4 of the following words are alike in some way. Which is the odd word out? Here are the options. Option A, petrified. Option B, fearful. Option C, terrified. Option D, daring. Option E, scared. First, let's understand what each word means. Petrified, very scared or frightened. Fearful, feeling fear, afraid. Terrified, extremely scared. Daring, brave, willing to take risks. Scared, afraid, fearful. Now let's see which words are similar. Petrified, fearful, terrified, and scared all describe feelings of fear. Daring is different because it means being brave or courageous, the opposite of being scared. So, the word that is different from the others is daring because it means being brave, not afraid. The answer to question 31 is option D, daring. Question 32. All of the words in the box below are alike in some way. Felony, offense, sin, wrongdoing. Which of the following options could not go in the box? Here are the options. Option A, crime. Option B, immoral. Option C, misdemeanor. Option D, prison. Option E, misconduct. First, let's figure out how the words in the box are alike. Felony, a serious crime. Offense, an illegal act, a crime. Sin, an immoral act. Wrongdoing, bad behavior, doing something wrong. All these words relate to actions that are illegal or immoral. Now let's look at each option. Option A, crime. This fits because it's an illegal act. Option B, immoral. This describes something wrong or unethical. Fits with the group. Option C, misdemeanor. A minor crime or wrongdoing. Fits with the group. Option D, prison. This is a place where criminals are kept. It's not an action or wrongdoing. Option E, misconduct. Bad or improper behavior. Fits with the group. So the word that could not go in the box is prison because it's a place, not an action. The answer to question 32 is option D, prison.
Okay, non-verbal reasoning now. So let's look at question 33. Which of the following best matches the relationship between the shapes in the image? So this is an analogy question. You can see there's a relationship from left to right and also like this, down. Which one do we want to look at first? Well, if we look at top to bottom, the arrow stays the same, okay? So I can assume the arrow here will be pointing upwards, okay? Now, what changes? I mean, it looks like, to be honest, the relationship is only going top to bottom rather than left to right. So the shape here goes from 3 sides to 6 sides. So from here, it's going to go from 4 sides to 8 sides. And so I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's got 7. So it looks like that's not the rule. So I thought it was going to be a double. It's going to go from 3 to 6. It's probably going to be 4. It's just plus 3, right? So plus 3 is going to be 7 sides, which is option D. So you can see the outside shape from top to bottom gets 3 sides added. And also the arrow stays the same, which is option D. For this one, it's a sequence question. Which domino is next in the sequence? We can see it goes, if we add these together, we've got 8 here, 7. If we add these two, we've got 8. If we add these two, we've got 7, 8. So we can assume that the next one is also going to be 7. Now, which one of these options here has 7? If you add the top and the bottom, you have A. Which is the next logical image in the sequence here? Well, let's look at this. Let's count the number of black circles here. We've got 5. And then we've got 7. We've got 5. And then we've got 7. So you can see the next one is going to have 5 black circles. So let's double check all of the options. This one doesn't. This one has too many. This one also has too many. This one has too many. E is the only one that has 5 options, so we know that is the correct rule. Question 36. So this one is a bit more tough. What's the next option in the sequence? Again, we have to find some sort of change that is occurring from left to right. Okay, so it could be sort of like going skipping questions, or it could be going one by one. Oops, sorry. So we can see that what's happening here is this, we always have an overlapping shape, and then you've got a small section here that is the overlap, right? And that becomes the new shape, okay? So from left to right, this little triangle in here becomes a new shape. If you look at this, this is a semicircle, like a cut-off circle. So that section, this thing right here, becomes the new shape right here. And you can see this section, this trapezium, becomes a new one. So the next shape, if you look at the intersection that we've got here, is going to be something that looks like this. Which option has that? Option B. You can see you've got that shape. So let me rub that out. Yeah, so you can see the curve, and then you can see the arrows. So you can see the 3 sides that we've got there. Question 37. So which is the odd one out in these strings of letters? So we have to look for some sort of similarity between these. Now, all of these are using the same letters. So you can say H, J, S, F, G, F, G, H, J, S, J, S, F, G, H, G, S, F, H. So you can see it's actually, if we write this out, H, J, S, F, G, so there you go, you've got this sort of repeating thing here. So you can see, for option C, it's just this little section. For some reason, it's not highlighting. F, G, H, J, S. So I think I did that the wrong way around. But you can see all of them are actually in the same order. They're just starting at a different letter. So you see that's F, G, H, J, S. So this one is the same. So J, S, F. So that's just starting here and then going round. This one, G. Okay, so that one's not doing it right. This one is S, F, G, H, J. Yeah, perfect. So the odd one out here is going to be option E, because all of these are actually just repeating in the same fashion, right? So just imagine, for option C, it's just starting here. For option D, it's just starting here. For option A, it's just starting here, etc. And it's looping around. And option E's got the wrong order, so you can see it goes G, S instead of going G, H. That's going to be the odd one out here. Question 38, we've got which figure completes this series? So if we look at what's happening left to right, the black thing is getting larger. So this is, first of all, it's split up into eighths. So if you think that this is 1/8 of it is shaded here. Now it's 1/4. And here it seems to be 3/8. So this is actually more like 1/8, 2/8, 3/8 is shaded. This one is 4/8 or a half, right? So the next one is going to be 5/8. So the way you can imagine this is if you split this up, right? So I'm zooming in. Split up like this. So look at how many white sections there are. We've got 8 sections and 1 is shaded. And if you do the same, this is going to be 2 shaded. This is actually 3 that are shaded. And this one is 4. Okay. The next one should be 5. Which I believe, yeah, it's going to be either of these, right? All of these are actually 5 out of 8, but we have to figure out which option is going to be correct because of like the order, right? So you can see it's filling out from the left, like clockwise in a way, but every time it fills out a new one, it loses the one from before. So this stays, right? But then in the next section, this is not here, this is not shaded, okay? And in this section, this part is not shaded, right? So in this section, I assume this eighth, shouldn't be shaded, this corner right here. And you can see the only one that has that is D. So that little section, actually not D, sorry, D and A, I believe both have that, because you can see A has also got this section, but the new shaded area should be up here. It should be continuing on, okay? So it's going clockwise. Like I said, the shaded area is going clockwise, but it's also losing a section of the shaded piece on the left side. So this is missing, and it's shaded on the right. So D is going to be the best option here. I think that makes sense. It's a bit complicated, but it is what it is. Question 39. Which figure completes the series? So we've got 2 black squares here. We've got 3, then we've got 3 again. We've got 4. But you can see we've got 4 total here. We've got 5, 6, 7. Okay. The next one is definitely going to be 8. You can see all of these actually have 8, apart from option D. Now it depends on how many black squares should there actually be in this one. So we got 2 black, 2 white, 3 black, 2 white, and we got 3 white, 3 black. So it's adding a white. So it's adding a black. It's adding a white. It's adding a black. So next thing should be a new white shape added. Okay. So it should have 4 whites and 4 blacks. Okay. The only option that seems to have that is option B. So that's going to be our answer. Question 40. Which figure completes the series here? So we've got a line down the middle and a diamond on the left side. Then it goes to the, actually what this looks like to me is the sequence is skipping a box. So from here, It's just rotating 90 degrees. So the next one should be from the top, okay? And if you look at from this sequence to this sequence, this one is rotating as well around each of the corners, okay? Now what's happening with the diamond isn't skipping sections. So you can see it goes bottom left, bottom, top right, bottom right. Next one should be bottom left, so it can't be this one. Like I said, it should be a line down the top, so it can't either be these ones, so you're left with option C, okay? Hopefully that made sense. Question 41, which figure completes this series? So we got half black, half white here. And then we've got more of it becoming white here and more of it becoming black here. Okay, and then again, more. Now it's like 50-50 on each side. And then again, more of it becomes white, more of it becomes black. You can assume that this one is going to fill up with white and this one's going to fill up with black. Now, yeah, so I would assume, if you look at this question, I was going to say D, but actually if you zoom out a bit here and just look at the pattern, right? So if you ignore the options here, you can see this this is the middle. These two are actually exactly the same. And then these two should probably be exactly the same. So it's a bit like a mirror. You got this middle thing and then everything is reflected. So it goes half this, 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 and then it's going to be the same shape again. So I'd actually go with B. If you imagine that in your head, you'll see it looks very symmetrical. The whole sequence will be symmetrical. I think that's a much better sequence answer. That's a better answer than option D. You can look at which option completes a series the best. Okay, which figure completes the series for question 42? We've got four black squares here. We've got 5 black squares on this one. And then 3, and then 2. Okay, if we look at everything else, we've got 1 cross, 2 crosses, 3 crosses, 4 crosses. So that's very obvious, right? This is increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, so it should be 5 next. The only one that has 5 is A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is the NVR section for this. Hopefully that was useful.